Alright, so we're back to another board. That doesn't work. And time to go to sleep. I don't think anybody's going to watch that, so... yeah. Guess I gotta fix stuff. I hate being sick. Alright, so... first thing to do is plug it in. No light. What rail do I need to get a light? I need PP3V42, don't I? Not there. Now, one of the things that I would want to do is look at the input to the PP3V42 power supply. So I've checked the ends of the circuit. I'm going to check it for a short to ground, just to make sure. Let's check it for a short to ground. One of the things I keep telling all of you is to check the end and the beginning of something. So there's no short to ground and no power and output. So now we check input for power. And where input is, oh my... oh, okay. So here we go. This is input. Right here. Right here. Okay, needless to say, no input. So let's see what's between input and output. You've got... okay, so what in this doesn't look right? So let me explain the way this works. So you have 16 volts from the charger. From here, and that 16 volts is going to travel to this resistor. This resistor kind of acts like a fuse. This is the main DC in fuse. This is going to be a current limiting resistor for the input to PP3V42. So this is where 16 volt input goes into the regulator that turns 16 volts into 3.42. This itself is the regulator. This is the inductor, and that's going to be output. Well, one of these sides is going to be output. I don't remember. Now, as you can see, there's usually a capacitor on the input to any one of these integrated circuits. And the whole idea is that on its trip from... on the 16 volts is... oh, man, I look like hell. Ugh, even worse than my usual self. So on the trip from here to here, you'd think that your nice flat 16 volts is still going to be a nice flat 16 volts here, right? Wrong. Your flat 16 volts here is going to turn into a clusterfuck of ripple and blah and noise and shit. So what they do is they put a capacitor to ground wherever the input voltage is to an IC or wherever there's something that they want to be smooth, because on the 16 volts is taking a trip from over here to over here, right? So on its trip from here to here, it's going to turn from its nice little 16 to a convoluted clusterfuck. Now, the capacitor it's only going to pass AC, right? It's only going to pass the AC. So anything that's kind of rippling is just going to wind up getting sent to ground. Excuse me. Anything that's rippling, I could use a capacitor between my head and ground right now. And also the capacitor acts like a battery. So if you have any spikes, all that's going to get stored. So let's say you have some kind of spike that's not supposed to be there. My head. Anyway, capacitor to ground, good thing. Look up what a bypass capacitor is. Have somebody that doesn't have a 101 fever explain it to you. Let's just fucking fix it. So, we'll go over here. Now, I'm going to take a wild guess that this capacitor between ground and the 16 volt input is shorted. And that short would show up as a 0 voltage drop on the multimeter. And what do you know? 0 voltage drop. So that capacitor is shorted to ground. Since that capacitor is shorted to ground, instead of asking for a tiny bit of the 16 volts, an teeny tiny bicicleta amount, as Cartman would say in the Yelp episode, teeny tiny amount of 16 volts, since it's shorted directly to ground, it's going to ask for an infinite amount of 16 volts, We're just going to blow that current limiting whatever it was that looked blown up in the beginning. So if we go back to that, we're going to first remove what's causing the short to ground. Oh, we're going to remove what's causing the short to ground. Which is this horse shit. Everybody says, oh, you own a business. You get to choose. You get to have whatever hours you want. Unlimited vacations, this, that, sick days. Yeah. Choose whichever 16 hours of the day you want. It's all you. No more short circuit. All right. Beautiful. Whichever 16 hours of the day suits you. All good. So we're going to take this. I want to get rid of the old solder and get some nice new stuff in there. That's why I do that with the big ball of solder. Yoink. Alrighty, new solder ready. And is that the same cap? It's the same fucking circuit, so it's gotta be the same shit. Yeah. Let's see. I really should check that. Okay, so those are 4.7 microfarad, 35 volt rated, 35, and the ones that I just put there are probably not. Let's see, what did I just put there? Because that doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. Okay. And I just put 5.6 microfarad at 25 volt. Actually, no, I didn't. I put one. Man, I really just should find the right fucking capacitor. All right. Let's find the right capacitor. Do I have a board that I haven't stolen it from yet? Let's see. Is there a board I haven't stolen it from yet? Are Trump and Hillary good candidates for the presidency? Is it going to stop being humid in New York? Who are we kidding? All right. Come on. You know, one thing I've been wanting to do for some time, for like the last week or two. I have this acquaintance that's getting. She finally found an apartment in New York City, and she's getting kicked out of it because she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to fuck her roommate. The roommate that she got, she told me all about the space, and I'm like, I'm really proud of you. It just seems like, I don't know. It's like that seems like a little bit like it was just a little too easy, too good a deal. I mean, it wasn't too good. It was just like I shouldn't say too good a deal. It's a fucking room for $1,100, but the area it's in, it's one of those areas where like $1,100 for, you pay $1,100, you probably don't even get a fucking bathroom. Anyway, it's $1,100, right? $1,100, and the first night that she's sleeping there, this piece of shit's like, I think it'd be really fun if we had sex in the shower. And she's one of those people that's nice, and she's friendly, and she's bubbly, and happy, and excited. She's not like a slut bucket or anything. She's just, I mean, she's not like the, I shouldn't say that slut bucket, but I mean, she's not the type of person she's not the type of person where there's a chance of you saying that and not getting punched in the face. If that makes any sense, right? And she's like, no, if you want to do that, go to Tinder. You'll find a bunch of people who want to fuck you in the shower. But that's not how I want to spend my time. And then after that, he gets a serious attitude that he didn't have before. And now he wants her to move out. And this goes back to what I was talking about before. Like, Jess and not wanting me to probably mention the name of the douchebag that didn't pay her in my videos. So and she's like, oh, now I have to move again, and I spent all this money moving here. And it's like, wait, no, you're not. And she goes, well, I don't have a lease. I don't have this. And this is where a lot of people are just kind of, I guess, this is where people start to become pieces of shit and say things like, well, it's your fault. You didn't get a lease. It's your fault. You didn't get this. Anyway. Well, most places that want you to have a lease and all that, they're going to want proof of income and all these other things. And, people who work off the books in New York, they don't have that. You may go, oh, that work off the books, that's bad. And that's the thing. Like, I actually heard somebody say, that you asked for it by doing this to yourself. And it's like, here's the thing I think a lot of people miss out on. If you have, let's say, if you have $20 left in your bank account and you're a month behind on rent, are you going to say, hey, this person's offering me a job, but I'm not going to take that job because that job is for a place that's not on the books? Or are you going to say, sure, I'll do that work so that I can feed myself and not starve and not live on the street? And most people that have common sense are going to probably choose the second one because they don't want to, again, they want to feed themselves, they want to purchase food, and they want to be somewhat productive in the pursuit of a good job. So she gets this crap job, but again, you can't really work, you can't actually show proof of income. So it's not like there's a lease that can be violated where it's like, this person sexually harassed me. And this is the part where poverty really sucks, and a lot of people that give advice to people who are living in poverty, they don't get it because they've never had to deal with it themselves. Like, if their bank account ever went below $7,000, their parents got an SMS alert and would help, and it would put something in their Chase account to get it over with. I remember what it's like to be 3 months behind on rent and to have like $200 in my bank account. Like, I mean, it was a long time ago, but it fucking feels like it was yesterday. I still spend money like that? Anyway. So this is one of those things where it's like, on a regular case, you could just say, no, I'm not leaving, and they'd have to take you to court. She doesn't have a lease. Why doesn't she have a lease? Because she got the place. Because she went for the place that would take her without her having a she went for the place that would take her without proof of income and all that shit. She paid her lease in cash, and it's like, oh, no, not her lease. She paid her rent in cash, so there's no paper trail. She doesn't get utilities there because it's a shared space. She's a roommate, so there's literally no proof that she actually lives there. So he's saying, I'm going to kick you out. And it's like one of those things where it's like, this is why women fucking hate men. It really is. Like, I had a female roommate. I've had two different female roommates, right? Two different female roommates over the course of my life. Not once did they walk up to me and say, you're fucking me in the shower or else you got to move out, or you're doing this or else you have to move out. They just, like, I stayed in my space, they stayed in theirs. That was it. It was that simple. It wasn't like some, stupid, complicated, perverted mess. Right. But anyway, where was I with the point here? I have to find that resistor. But the point. Yeah, so I said, how about this? You think you're going to get kicked out, right? And he's like, yeah. How about this? Because this guy's really pissed off anytime if she walks out of her room, she has a friend over, it's like, the end of the world. So this jackass always has a friend over that doesn't pay rent, that treats the place like shit, and plays music and crap, like really, really, really loud. It's like 4 in the morning, even if he's not paying attention to it. So I said, how about I come over, because you are paying rent, right? How about I come over, and I sit in this chair and I wait for him to get home. And when he tells me to get up, I say, call the police. And I call him on it. And he's like, okay, I'm going to call the police. And I go, yeah. How about I tell those nice people that came over that you said you're going to kick out this person that's paying you rent because she said she wouldn't fuck you in the shower. And here's the thing that I think about these things. Technically, that dude technically has the, I guess, the legal upper hand or the right to kick them out, because again, there's no lease or anything like that. It's one of those things where I feel like when you're faced with what a piece of shit you are, and you're faced with a piece of shit that you are being, told to people, like even if I don't have solid proof like a recording or anything, I just feel like they would shut the fuck up, It's just one of those things where I just feel like they see a 5'2", like 115-pound girl, and they think, I'm just gonna fuck with this person because I can, and like that just pisses me off so bad. Oh, it's brutal. Like men are they're just such fucking pieces of shit sometimes. Like I just don't know what to say for my entire gender. I don't know what to say. Oh, but that would be so much fun. Like I just want to sit in that dude's friend's chair when he comes home. Just wait for the look. 'Cause it sounds like one of these really controlling pricks. Like one of those people that would like lose their shit if somebody was sitting in their chair. It's like, who is this? Hey, buddy. This is the kind of stuff that I find fun, because I've done this before. You just come over and you act like you're being really friendly. Like, hey, buddy, how are you? Nice to meet you. It's like, hey, who are you? Oh, I'm Louis. Nice to meet you. So what are you doing in my home? Oh, no, I'm not in your home. I'm in her home because she lives here too. You know how she pays you? Like I said, and just keep a smile. Just keep a smile the whole time. Yeah, because you know how she pays you rent. You know how you agreed to have you agreed. You know how you put up an ad for a space. You know how when she replied to that ad and paid you cash and then moved all of her shit in here. You kind of have an agreement that you came to. Oh yeah, we got rid of that. Oh, why'd you get rid of that agreement? And that's the thing. When he explains it to himself, he's using a different part of his brain or when he explains it to himself, he's lying to himself. When he explains it to her, he's explaining it to a 5'2" woman. When he explains it to me, that's what's gonna be fun. Oh my god, I would have so much fun with that. See, this is where I think I'd have fun. Like just asking. I mean, just not being mad, not being violent, not being sit on the couch and say, "Hey, buddy, how are you? Who the fuck are you? I'm Louis. Nice to meet you." And then we get to the point where he's saying, "Oh, you have to leave," and it's like, "Okay, why? I don't want to explain it. Why don't you want to explain? I don't want to explain it. Okay, well, okay, I understand. Call the police. What? Yeah, call the police. If you don't want to explain it to me, then you can explain it to them. Explain to them why it is you want this person. Explain the entire situation from beginning to end. Because that's the thing when you bring other people into it. Like, if you call the police on somebody that's in your home, they're going to want to know why that person's in your home. And they're not going to believe, oh, yeah, this woman climbed in through the window and just so happened to take her dresser and her clothes and her memorabilia and all of her belongings and shove it in this room without me noticing. And then when I noticed that she had gotten all her stuff in there, I told her, no, they're going to want a story. And then and that's the thing that I don't think that she understands. But I get it. Some people just don't like dealing with conflict. But man, conflict is my thing. Like, I live for this shit. And it's just, I don't like being bullied. I don't like getting fucked in the shower or not. And this just pisses me off. I think that's the problem with men in general. Like, men like to solve problems, right? Because there are so many times where women will talk about a problem because they want emotional support, not because they actually want help. And I always, men always make the mistake of trying to provide help instead of emotional support, which winds up being why there are so many fucking arguments over everything. But I think that would be so much fun. It would definitely clear my sinuses. I know meeting this guy would clear my sinuses. Yeah, check it out. Fan spinning. See that? It's a fucking fan spinning. But like, I just have this feeling that if I had to visit this whole 101 fever, not 102. I don't know why I said 102. The last time I got sick, I had a 102 fever. It was like the last time I got sick was like it was May of last year. But I know this fever will go away. I know that these bags would go away a little bit. My sinuses would clear up. There's something about those experiences that's just fun. Yeah. It sucks when all the people that you know are getting shit on in the same week. It sucks when you can't do anything about it. That's the thing that kills me. Because, like, I'm not going to show up there and, like, fucking ring her bell or anything like that. Because that's wrong. You want to handle it in your own way, that's fine. But that would be such a fun way to do it, don't you think? I think it would be I've done it before. It's fun. Anyway, that's that. So the reason that this was dead... excuse me. The reason that this is dead is there was a short to ground on the bypass capacitors on the input of the PP3V42 regulator. That short to ground caused the current limiting resistor in the beginning of the 16-volt rail, which leads to that regulator, to blow. Replace it all. Has a light. Just needs cleaning. And that's it. I'm full of depressing stories today, aren't I? But it really is it's something with poverty. It's like everybody likes to say, I remember when I was broke, everybody would say, why don't you just do this? Why don't you just do that? And it's kind of like the more poor you get, the more you fuck yourself. Like if I have $10,000 in the bank, it's easy for me to wait until I have an on-the-books job offer to take it. If I have $20 in the bank, 3 months behind on rent, and I'm hungry and I have no food, and it's cold outside or something, like that's when I'm probably going to take the first job offer that comes my way. Because I took that job offer, now I can't get a home easier. So that means I'm not afforded the same protections as somebody who got a home through the, the standard means, which again in New York is fucking impossible, unless you're rich in most cases. Like, I mean, like it's like they want fucking 3 months of rent. They want $2,400 a month for this little shit box of a space. They want $200 in application fees and all that. It's like, what? I mean, come on. You get your first entry level job or something. Who the fuck's gonna afford that? But it's one of those things. That's it for today. Done rambling.